I didn't mean to press that. Uh-oh. Okay. Let's see if it's up then. Cool, it says I'm up. Good to know. I will post that then. I should probably get this up and get rid of this. Get this up like so. Alright, give me a sec here. Now, live. Okay. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Why didn't you tell me you were going live? Because I didn't know. Yeah, basically. So I was gonna do a... You didn't tell your friend who wrote all of this. I was gonna do a video, but then I was like, you know what? Last time I did a news video or whatever, I just did it as a live stream instead, and it went pretty well, so why not? I don't plan this stuff out. I demand one Danji start deck as an apology. I honestly wouldn't mind sending people start decks and stuff, but the problem is that the shipping would be more than the actual deck itself, which I think is hilarious, especially from country to country. So yeah, okay, give me a sec. As I tweet stuff out, live now. Dang, Asterisk shaking my head. Hopefully everything sounds okay and everything. And we'll get started in a little bit. So I've only just started and I'm already thirsty. That's great. Let's talk about the news. Like so. Okay, hopefully you hear me and everything. According to this, you should be. I can't really check without it being all super echoey and everything, so just let me know if everything sounds okay so that I know and I can actually get started in a sec. Hello, Buster Corp. Nice to see you here. Alright, everything sounds fine. Okay, cool, excellent. Thank you very much. I always get anxiety about that because I'm like, I can't check without it sounding really echoey and shitty on your end. And so that doesn't really help things, so I just need someone who's watching to confirm it, but that's good enough for me. Sounds better, good. That's good to know. Cool. So yeah, basically in a sec we will be... Sounds nice. Okay, good. Yep, basically in a sec we will be getting into the news and stuff. Originally this was going to be a video. Hello, Cranite Julian. Nice to see you here. This was originally just going to be a news video, but last time I did a news thing, I did it as a live stream and it worked out pretty well. So I was like, why not try it again? We're just going to keep doing these until I hate doing them, I guess. Been preparing for a new job interview. Well, yeah, good luck. Good luck with that. I've been having some not so great luck with job stuff recently, but you know what? I'll keep soldiering on anyway. Right in the build analysis while listening. Cool, good luck with that then, because those videos are pretty good, Buster. But yeah. So I guess before we really get into the news and stuff, because yes, there is a lot of news to talk about. In fact, there's a lot. There's so much I'm probably not going to get around to all of it. I'm planning on streaming for around about an hour like I did last time. But I feel like, you know, because there's been so much going on with Vanguard and everything, instead of just getting straight into the news, we should kind of keep a track of how things have been going with the release of overdress and a lot of other stuff. Because I've got the start decks in front of me, I'm looking at them right now, and I love them. I really, really like them, and I know a lot of people, including people in here right now, haven't received their decks yet because of shipping delays and stuff. My store was delayed by a little less than a week. They were supposed to have them on Friday, but got them in on Thursday afterwards. But, so that was a little annoying, but you know what? It wasn't as bad as it could have been, so I'm very, very thankful. And now that they've got them, I can just walk up and get a deck whenever I want to. Uh, for example, today I got up on a whim and just bought a second Danji one to keep in the box because I think the box looks pretty. So yeah, and being able to just go up and buy the decks. Is this Kyrie best waifu? Um, but yeah, being able to just go and buy another deck on a whim just because I want to is an amazing feeling because most other people would have ordered them online. And so, whilst their decks will eventually get there and everything, if they decide on a whim that they want like another one for whatever reason, they're gonna have to order another one online and not know when they're gonna come. Whereas with me, because my store has like a lot of cases of them, like a lot. I don't remember the exact number, but they have a lot of them. So many that they cannot seriously sell that many in our small town. But yeah, hello, Mellow mate. But like, 'cause that's the thing. I'm in a tiny town. The fact that we're selling Vanguard stuff here at all is kind of surprising. The fact that we've got a card shop at all is kind of surprising. We are an absolutely tiny, small town. And so the fact that we've got a card shop that actually stocks Vanguard stuff now is incredible. And the fact that it's so easily accessible. And that's kind of one of the cool things. Vanguard fans are better than Pokemon fans because we don't scalp. For the most part, we don't scalp. Yeah. I actually got like, when I mentioned that my local shop was selling them for MSRP, someone did, I think, like reply to one of my tweets basically saying you should buy them all and then sell them for like double the amount that they're actually worth. And I'm like, I mean, I could do that. I don't want to, but I could. But like, that's the cool thing. I'm in such a tiny town that they're probably not going to sell like anywhere near the amount of decks that they actually have. So basically, if I ever need another deck, they're basically just going to have them. They do have an online store as well. Maybe I'll link that at a later date if people want me to. So you can order them online, but they're a UK-based store, so it's probably best to order from them if you're in the UK. So, because international shipping is probably going to get pretty nasty. I've been on the receiving end of that quite often. So yeah, I've been playing with the decks. I guess I'm going to talk about my time playing with them because I do want to do a video at some point talking about the decks. I just haven't gotten around to it because I've been busy. I've been working on art commissions and stuff. And I'm still doing that, by the way. Going to get those finished and done as soon as I can. But in the meantime, I have been playing with the decks and I'm really enjoying them. I think my favorite so far is, of course, the Cat Sanctuary Bastion deck. That one's the one I've been playing the most. I've been playing that one a lot, actually. I played like a lot of games of that one. But then second place is probably Bruce, which isn't too surprising. I really like the Bruce deck. I need to play more of it. I haven't played with it very much. I only played like a couple games or so, but I really like what I have played of it. The Final Rush stuff is really fun. And then in third place is probably Dragon Empire. I really like Trickstar a lot, and I really like, because usually I shy away from protagonist decks because they're intentionally made to be fairly generic, so lots of people like them. You know, like, you gotta have as many people as they can like the protagonist deck because it needs to be marketable. But and so I usually don't really care for the nice art commissions. I wonder who commissioned them. Yeah, yeah, I wonder too, Buster. um, but yeah, no. I usually don't really care for the protagonist decks because they're a little bit too generic for me. But actually, having the overdress stuff and like keeping track of your Trickstar and Verena and kind of like cycling back like in and out of your field again is quite a lot of fun. Like using different abilities to scoop them back out from the drop zone and stuff is really fun, and I imagine that only gets more and more fun once you get more cards in set 1 and 2. So I really like that, and I'm really looking forward to playing more with Verena. My favorite start deck is Seraph Snow. I've got a funny story to do with Seraph Snow. I had basically, so I went into the card shop, my card shop a few days ago on Saturday. Trickstar is triggering my Yu-Gi-Oh! PSSD. Yeah, I know, same name as a Yu-Gi-Oh! Card, yep. But yeah, I have a funny story with Seraph because I would could get any of the 5 decks. Yeah, I know I do feel bad for people who don't have them yet because I was really impatient and I only had to wait 6 days. And like I got like annoyed with how long I had to wait. So the people who had to wait longer than 6 days and still don't have them, I really do feel bad for them. Nice that Verena are a toolbox of sorts. Yeah, that's the thing I really like about them. Like, because usually I'm not the biggest fan of Dragon Empire stuff because they do just hit for big numbers and that's kind of all they really do. Maybe they'll have a couple of other mechanics on the side, but they're basically just we hit for big numbers. Um, um, but I like the kind of like the toolbox, like recycling cards and kind of putting things in and out of your drop zone again and all that other stuff. That stuff's really fun. But basically, yeah, with the originally wanted Donji's deck, but I'm considering getting Toyo's under episode 6. Toyo's one's really fun. I really like Toyo's one. I think it's probably one of the more simple ones, but it's really satisfying to get that grade 3 trigger hit and stand your rare guards again. That's a lot of fun. I really like doing that. And just kind of managing the grade 3s, and I imagine that's only going to get even more fun once I do dig into set 1 and fill the deck with even more grade 3s. But yeah, back to the Stair of Snow story. So yeah, I went to the card shop on Saturday because they're starting to let you just come in and play basically. So I did go in and play, and I've been playing with my sister. That's who I've mainly been playing. She's been playing Magnolia, and she's really liking that a lot. And she had a friend come in who's never played Vanguard before and is not really familiar with it. They just kind of heard of it, but they've never like played or owned any Vanguard cards. And they saw me playing, and they were like, "That looks interesting." And so they went out into the store, and they came back with a Seraph Snow deck and sleeves. And I ended up teaching them how to play that day, and that was a lot of fun. And I cannot describe how much that person's like face lit up when I explained what the prison actually does. Like when I was like, yeah, no, you can just pick up my unit and take it from me. They were like, whoa, that's so cool. And I'm like, yeah, I know, right? And I just love having like the 5 different decks like all next to each other. She got a deck too, or gave her one. She bought one. She Discord notifications so slow. Yeah, I know, right? My wallet's dead, man. So is mine. I'm like running low. That's why I've been doing hot commissions and stuff, is because I need to buy all this shiny cardboard. Yeah, hello Zena, hello Real, and hello Ryan. Um, but yeah, no, I love the way that like there's 5 different decks and they're all like drastically different in terms of aesthetic and everything, because it reminds me a lot of like you go in and you pick the deck you want, and it's a lot like picking a starter Pokemon. You have the 5 of them next to each other, and then you just pick the one you like the look of the most. And it reminds me a lot of like starter Pokemon, and I love that a lot. Obviously, I got all of them. I'm playing all the decks. Uh, but I imagine most people will just get one and a set of sleeves and have a lot of fun on their own. I'm playing with start decks for Dark States and Keda until we get the right lines that resemble Gear Chronicle and Gold Paladin. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Gold Paladin for sure, yeah. And also just for Gear Chronicle too, yeah. I always try to have 2 trial decks so I can teach someone how to play. Yeah, yeah, that's a really good thing to have too. Just like you just put a bunch of decks in a box, and then if anyone comes over and wants to play, you already have everything they need. Um, but yeah, no, and another thing I super appreciate about these decks is like they're really good. See, I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh a lot, like good 10 or so years ago. Um, and I feel like back then and even before then with like Pokemon and that kind of stuff, like for a long time, it felt like every pre-constructed deck, every like starter deck would just be random cards thrown together, and they'd be like, here you go. And most of it was like starter deck filler, like they give you like 1 or 2 copies of like a really good card, and then the rest of the cards would just be garbage or just staples you already have. And it just wouldn't feel like a deck, like it would just feel like, here you go, it's the bare minimum you need to start playing. And what's so refreshing about these start decks, and I know the reboot trial decks were pretty decent too, but these start decks, more so than any pre-constructed deck I think I've ever bought, feel like fucking decks. You open them, you take them out of the box, you lay your paper playmat down, and you have some of the most fun you've had in like years, honestly. They are so much fun, and they have their own strategies. And yes, there's some filler in there, the PGs have already been power crept, for example. The Cat one doesn't have quite enough grade 3s. All of the decks have some kind of vanillas. But even despite all of that, they still feel like really good, fun decks. And they're fairly balanced against each other. I do feel like, and this is from my playtesting, so Obviously, I could be wrong. I need to do more still. I feel like the Bruce one is maybe a little bit more powerful than the others. Bruce and Bastion seem to be the best two of the sealed like start decks, in my opinion. I feel like Magnolia and Verena lag a little bit behind. Uh, I feel Verena, like Verena slash Nirvana relies a lot on whether or not you can draw into your pieces because whilst you do get cards that can deck search, you can't use them as reliably as you'd want to necessarily. And so getting like even just one Trickstar or Verena in your opening hand is gonna like set you far is gonna get you a lot further than you'd think you would. Starting G era, I admit these are the most fun start decks compared to every other Vanguard era I played with. Yeah, they really are a lot of fun. I like them, and they're so cheap too. It's like the double, like the 1-2 punch of like. Not only are they some of the best starter decks ever made, but they're like the cheapest ones as well. And it's like, how can you not? Genuinely, the sleeves I've bought for these decks are more expensive than the decks, and I think that's hilarious. And yeah, they give you playsets of basically everything you'd want playsets of, so that's pretty cool. Bastion being the best, but Bruce not falling behind at all. You can really say Bruce best, Bastion second best. Okay, I'm back. Hello, Roxas and Malice. Welcome back. Yeah, I definitely think Bruce and Bastion are the best of the two, but also I definitely feel like none of them suck. Did I miss good stuff? We've mainly just been talking about the start deck so far, and about like the minimal playtesting I've done. So I've basically just been praising the decks and how much fun I've been having with them, which I know is rubbing it in your face because your one haven't arrived yet. But they're a lot of fun. I definitely think, yes, that whilst some are a little more powerful than others, it's still totally possible to use the weakest of the five against the strongest of the five and still do really well. As for the overtrigger, I haven't talked too much about the overtrigger. I don't hate it because I feel like it's not swung as many games as people exaggerated. Missed out a lot, had a Kagro deck before. Yeah, I don't think the overtrigger swung quite as many games as a lot of people online would have me believe it did. Maybe that's just me getting like lucky slash unlucky, but I haven't really been seeing my overtrigger all that much. I will say one thing that happens a lot, and by a lot I mean it's happened at least twice, is I will mulligan, and then when I mulligan, I draw the overtrigger, and I'm like, cool, I guess I've got a 50k shield, but my opponent's probably going to trigger check it. At least Kagura is coming back, sort of, if you miss it. Yeah, I am interested in those new Kagura and Shadow Paladin units look interesting. We've already talked about them in a previous stream, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what they do with those. I mean, we kind of already know a lot of what they're doing with them, but I'm interested to see where they're going with that. Although honestly, I'm not all that interested. I think already I like Nirvana a lot more than whatever Dragonic Overlord will end up throwing at us, if you know what I mean. Yeah. But yeah, no, also the ride deck. I know everyone's already said it. The ride deck, oh my god, the ride deck is such a good mechanic. Jesus Christ. It's so good. But also, like, one thing I worried about is it would make games a bit too stable and predictable, but the addition of the Persona ride still makes it so you have to draw into your grade 3 anyway. So it's not completely scripted. I like that a lot. My sister is very good at, like, getting all of the Persona rides. She somehow manages to ride Magnolia 4 times a game, and it's, like, really, really aggressive. A lot of times I drive check it. Yep. My issue with the overtrigger is the fact they exist and completely fit the game for no reason. Yeah, I mean, I know the reason. The reason is for PogChamp moments. The reason they exist is so they can stream live tournaments or events and that kind of stuff. And then someone's going to win a game via an overtrigger, and people are going to PogChamp at it. And that'll hopefully go like viral, or at least the Vanguard equivalent of viral, and that'll get people interested in the game. That's genuinely what I think the reason the overtriggers exist for. If I'm doing a tournament, I would hope for OTs to be banned. Man, she's lucky or good. Yeah, that's what I don't get. I think she might be lucky because she does it so often. But like Magnolia doesn't really have deck searches, so she can't like search for them. Can't find Bastion on TCG Play. It's sold out in Canada and it's still in lockdown. That's a shame. I would link you my card shop, and if you are interested in me linking you my card shop, like let me know on Twitter or Discord or whatever. But again, my card shop's in the UK, so I have absolutely no clue if the shipping would be worth it or not, because they are selling them at MSRP, but the shipping is probably more expensive than the actual decks. So, PogChamp, I start to know Pog. Yeah, it's a cool clip, but the opponent who gets the OT is going to be sorry as hell. Oh, absolutely. I will say it is pretty PogChamp when like you need an overtrigger to pass and then you get it, basically. Like when you get the overtrigger when you need it, it's the best. But also it is pretty frustrating when your opponent gets it too. I will say it's not as frustrating as Vanguard Zero though. Like when your opponent trigger sacks or whatever in Vanguard Zero, it's like it becomes not fun anymore for that like couple of minutes for the rest of that game. Like when your opponent just gets super lucky and or like they just get all 4 PGs in their hand or whatever. Like when your opponent gets super lucky in Zero, it just like stops being fun for the rest of that game. Whereas with over triggers, they're not that bad. There's like that instant moment of like, ah, fuck. But after that, it's fine. You know, it's nowhere near as bad as yeah, it's nowhere near as bad as Zero, but Zero is a gacha game, so I love your videos. Wondering what you think of the ship Aichi Misaki. I actually mean, what is that word exactly? PogChamp. Oh, PogChamp is basically just an exciting moment. You PogChamp when you react to a really hype or exciting moment. It's a Twitch emote, basically, and you spam the Twitch emote when something cool happens. It's really not that deep. That's all you really need to know. Cool. Love your videos. What do you think of Aichi Misaki? I don't really care for it, honestly. If you want to ship it, then feel free, but I always thought that Aichi and Korin was better, but I'm not the biggest shipper in the world anyway, so remind me when I shuffle a mulligan not to go wild. Honestly, that's the thing. One of the things I like about the overtrigger, and is a little bit underrated, is it stops you from mulliganing, you know, because the fear of like drawing into your overtrigger during the mulligan is like frightening, you know. You're like, I don't want to do it, and so it stops you from mulliganing, so you really have to like be careful about what you mulligan, and I like that a lot. Any kind of mechanic that forces you to like think more carefully about what you're doing, I like a lot. Obviously I don't think that was the intention of the overtrigger, but it's a good side effect of it. Hello, Game Tech Reviews. Nice to see you here. Zero's way too watered down. Honestly, that's the thing. One of the things I realized, because I haven't played much like paper Vanguard in a while, because I've mainly been playing Zero over the past year. Oh my god, playing with these decks made me realize just how fun guarding is. Guarding is so much fun. Why did they take it out of Zero? It's like the most fun mechanic of the game. Having your opponent go, I'm going to attack you, and you going, uh-oh, no you're not. I'm not gonna let you attack me. But then them trigger checking and getting the attack through anyway is like the funnest thing ever. How would they? Why? I know why they did, but like it's like less fun, you know? Yep. Too watered down to be taken seriously. Oh, absolutely. I would never take it seriously. I even entered like a tournament in the Clash of Kings and I never took it seriously. I played with like a Neo Nectar deck, even though it was like the day after the Neo Nectar clan was released in the game. That's how seriously I was taking it. Like the fought in a finale, someone could lose their OP, get an OT, such an erg moment, what the fuck. I don't know, it's annoying, the rest of the format's not fine. Yep. Too many functions all made, absolutely. I want to actually play Vanguard and not have the phone play it for me. It's like the opposite problem of Area. Sort of boring after a few games, starting to wait for more support. I don't think it's too boring, actually. I think having, to be fair, I don't know if you have all 5 decks, but I have all 5 decks, and being able, and having 2 people like cycle between all of them, and having like different matchups, and even recreating moments from the anime, I've been having hours of fun with that, and I still think I'm going to have even more hours of fun than that. But obviously that's just me. People are going to have, you know, different sorts of feelings and that kind of thing, but I think having all 5 of them makes a massive difference to your enjoyment. because yeah, having all 5 of them and like cycling between them, between a group of people, definitely makes the big difference. Found all 5 at my local card shop website. Nice, congrats, Samurai Trainer Z. Why did I just stop using his low rate as I went direct to Royal Paladin? I don't think there's a plot reason. I just think he wanted to. I mean, there might be like a lore or plot reason. If there is, they don't really explain it. But the real reason was for nostalgia pandering. People liked it when Aichi was using Royal Paladin. But I'd like to think that in universe he just wanted to go back to Royal Paladin. Honestly, I don't think there's like I don't think that's too big a deal for someone to just switch decks. You know. I mean, statement of fear of Mulligan could apply to anything though. Like there's the fear you can draw into it, and the fear you can soul charge it. Yes, but the overtrigger accentuates that way more because it's one card that's so good. You do not want to draw it. And that's true, you know, you can do that with other things like crit triggers and stuff. But if I draw a crit trigger in a mulligan, I'm always like, well, I've got other crit triggers, and I've always got other heal triggers and that kind of thing. But with an overtrigger, I feel like I'm more careful, and that might just be me. But for me, that's a massive like desensitize, you know what I mean? To not because like in Vanguard Zero and pre-overdress Vanguard, I basically just mulligan everything that wasn't part of my core strategy. Basically, like anything that wasn't explicitly my winning image, I would just get rid of. But now with the overtrigger, I'm like, I do not want to draw that overtrigger, and it's not very likely, but I'm gonna be careful anyway, just in case. Then gonna be stupid sometimes. Indeed, it can. I only play Zero casually. I feel like everyone only plays Zero casually. I don't really think anyone is like, gotta try my hardest at Vanguard Zero. The game where the entire meta has always been, can you spam out 2 intercepts per turn? Yes or no? If so, you win. If not, you don't win. Emerald Samurai? Hello, Emerald Samurai. Don't have my start decks yet since they've been badly delayed. I do play Carver Area, and yeah, we switch a bit. It's a bit repetitive, doing the same thing over and over again. I also think, and this is my thing, is I don't really like Area all that much. And that's not a problem with you, because I've been playing with you, Ryan, in Area quite a bit. And it's not a problem with you, I just don't like online card games all that much, which I think is ironic, considering that one of the things that got me big was playing Vanguard Zero. So I think that's very funny. But honestly, I think playing with physical cards makes the biggest difference in the world. Honestly, I think it's a lot more fun than, and I don't know if that's like a shallow thing or not, but like the social experience of sitting down and like talking to the person opposite to you while you shuffle your physical decks, I think that makes a world of difference. And I think it makes the game more fun, whether that's artificially or like mechanically, I don't know, but like that's my feelings anyway. Screen glitched a little while back. Hopefully that's not too big a deal. I hope that's not like a big thing. Again, I'm not the master of streaming yet or anything. But yeah. Do you like Dragonic Overlord? Honestly, yeah, I do. It's never been my favorite deck. You know, like I definitely think Kagero's always been pretty straightforward. In fact, Dragon Empire's always kind of been like brute force, you know, that kind of thing. I mean, there are the other ones like Nubatama, which are a bit more like mechanical. But generally, Dragon Empire tends to be very like brute force, with like Narakami's whole thing being that you just ignore your opponent. But honestly, I do like Dragonic Overlord. I like the design. I think Dragonic Overlord usually gets some of the best card artwork in the game. I love the way he's like, you know, painted and everything, especially in the new card for set 2 of overdress. But yeah, I like him quite a bit. I'm worried that he might get like a bit too like, oh, we've seen it's Dragonic Overlord again. I don't think he's quite got there yet. I know some people do think he has. I got a bit boring. Like he got a bit boring during the reboot, but like yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm not gonna be like, oh, he's massively overrated. I actually quite like him, and honestly, I think I like him a bit more than Blaster Blade. Just design wise and everything. I mean, that's fair. Not seeing the reaction of your opponent getting sacked, but feeling the actual cardboard in hands does ruin the experience. Exactly. Like a lot of the fun in Vanguard is playing like the crit. Like your opponent basically being like, you need a crit, and if you get the crit, you win, and then you get the crit, and then they're like, oh. That's the thing that makes Vanguard fun. Which is why I think they added the overtrigger, because I think they just wanted to make a bigger version of that, basically. Except maybe they went a bit too far with it. But yeah, same. I like playing card games IRL, not online. Yep, same. Would love to be in a tournament with you guys some days. Yeah, I mean, of course, I'm not like explicitly right now like setting up a tournament or like looking to enter one, but maybe at some point I might, it depends on how fast I can get like Bastion or someone built. We'll see. We'll see if I manage to pull anything good. Do you think Buddyfight will get reboot? No. I think Buddyfight's gone. And I do feel bad for the people who are like waiting for it to come back, but I don't think we're going to see Buddyfight ever again. There's no reason to bring it back, basically. They cancelled it for a reason, and it's a sad reason, but I don't think they're bringing it back. Draconic Overlord is the Charizard of the franchise. Kinda. Because that's the thing, is like, I think that's actually a really good analogy, because the thing with Charizard is that Charizard is pretty cool, but the fact that he's the most popular kind of makes him a little less cool. And I think that's the thing with Draconic Overlord. The fact that he's so popular makes him a little less cool than he actually is, but he is still pretty cool, So he's not like completely overrated and garbage, but he's also like maybe a little bit more popular than he should be. But I mean, hey, franchise is gonna have mascot characters, right? I played too much online because I have a little around me who plays anything that isn't Magic. That online is the only thing I need. Yeah. I mean, honestly, see, I'm in a special position because I literally live with someone who wants to get into Vanguard, so I can just play whenever the hell I want, as long as we're both not busy. So that does put me in a unique position. I've managed to get my sister into both Pokemon and Vanguard now, and so I love that. I don't need other people to play with, because as long as I've got my sister, I'm okay. Obviously, I do want to find other people to play with in person too, but that's good enough for me. For now, anyway. And like I said, I managed to find other people who are like kind of interested in it. So, let's see. When I used to have Vanguard community, I lost one time because of 5th damage, check, control trigger, and material trigger. Oh, I do that all the time in Vanguard Zero. I always draw into my heal. It's so annoying. Let's see. Better for them to rest. At least I had one card of that franchise. I've been meaning to go back and get some Buddyfight. I'm not sure when I will. I'm not in a specific rush to do so, but I've always been interested in building some of the Hero World stuff from that. I don't know what specifically, but I like Tokusatsu, so I'd probably build like a Hero World deck, and maybe like a couple of other decks too. And so if anyone wanted to play Buddyfight, I could just give them one of the decks and we could play. Obviously not competitively or anything, but it might be a fun afternoon. And we could probably find the card fairly cheap nowadays because, well, the game's over. So might be worth doing. Maybe even doing some videos about that at some point. I don't know. Depends on how things go. Honestly, actually, for Buddyfight, putting together a cube might be worth it. Ooh, that could be good. Because cubes are expensive to invest in, but ooh, a Buddyfight cube could be fun. Sad Buddyfight's anime never got proper conclusion. Yeah, I'm sad. I really loved Ace. Ace was like the shining beacon at the end of the tunnel when the reboot, when the Vanguard reboot anime was happening. Like, it's funny to think that for like a good year or so there, I was like, I don't really care for the Vanguard anime. Instead, I'm looking forward to the new Buddyfight episode. That felt weird. And then they canceled it. And I'm like, thanks, bushiroad. That was like the era of like bushiroad just not getting like anything right. It was really frustrating. I'm glad we're out of that era now. Miss suspense in games like that. Yeah, suspense is like the best part, honestly. That's like the decision making in the suspense is just so good. What do you think of Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush Duel? I don't know. Because Konami still won't let us play it. Like, I would love it if Konami let us play it. And I know there's like online simulators and stuff, but I just want to pick up starter decks for Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush Duel, and every time we ask Konami, they just kind of are like, maybe. Maybe eventually when Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s gets a dub, which also that, maybe eventually. Konami are not good at communicating at all. Like, every time we're curious and we want to know more about something, they'll just ignore us, and it's great. I really love being ignored. It's really fun. But I definitely do think that when we get the Rush Duel decks in English, I will be like first in line to pick some up because I'm really looking forward to playing that. Whilst I haven't played I haven't played any of it, I do think the cards look so much better. I wish the actual proper cards were like that instead. Rumor is summer English Rush Duel release. Well, I hope that rumor is correct then, because I want to play them. And that's the funny thing is I don't even know if I'd like Rush Dueling all that much because it does seem like a streamlined version of the game, and I'm usually not in favor of streamlined versions of the game. Um, but I just think the cards look prettier. And I mean, what do you think about the card layout? Exactly, the card layout look so good. It's crazy how much better they look. They got like an actual graphic like designer to design the cards for once. Finally, thanks Yu-Gi-Oh! That's one of the things that got me out of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is I thought the cards looked ugly. Not the actual artwork. I think the artwork for Yu-Gi-Oh! Is fine. It's that like the cards are tiny, but also the borders are so massive that the actual artwork takes up is like so small, and it's like, but I love these card games for the art. If you're gonna do the small like Japanese sized cards, make them full art like Bushiroad does. Um, yeah, seriously. Did you see the Sonic announcement? I did. I'm very excited for that. I'm not gonna go too in depth with that because people are here for card game stuff, but I am very excited to see what it is they do there. G-Guard 2.0, anyone? We will eventually get to that if we ever actually start talking about the news. We probably should in a minute. From watching a YouTuber, the mechanic sounds cool and maximum looks epic. Cool. 2000% better card layout. Yeah, I know, right? Honestly, just making the borders around the card smaller so that the art is bigger on its own was a massive improvement. Having a number of the level instead of just having the various different balls so you had to count them, that's way better too. Just everything about them is so much clearer. Like, because not only do they look better, but they're actually more effective gameplay wise because you can actually see the information easier. It's so much better. It's unreal. And I know why the proper cards aren't like that because, you know, they want everything. Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't want a rotating format, and so they need the cards to look as similar as possible so that, you know, they're all compatible with each other and everything. But man, I wish they'd just bite the bullet and be like, nope, everything looks like the Rush Duel ones from now on. They look so much better. And again, to me, and I know a lot of other people too, the aesthetic of a card game is going to make or break it. I don't want to collect these cards if they look ugly, and the new Rush Duel cards look so much better. Anyway, we should probably actually start at least attempting to talk about the news. So I'm going to close this and actually go to the first one of these. Like so, and then like so, and then like so, and then like so. There we go. So let's actually talk about the news. A lot of this is premium stuff like V series, so I probably will skim over that stuff a little bit more because I'm not like here for that. I'm gonna be completely transparent and upfront and say that whenever a franchise has a new shiny thing, I'm going to focus on the new shiny thing. There are other channels like Solemn Vanguard and TIE Fighter who cover the old stuff like premium format really, really well. I'm here to look at the new shiny stuff. So we will take a quick look at the premium stuff, but I'm not going to be like spending a ton of time on it. So yeah, we've got a new heal trigger. It's they're grade freeze. I think that's very funny. Obviously we can make our Vanguard Zero jokes very clearly. But yeah, it's got a lower shield. Premium v premium is different. Yeah, I know, but it's still the same to me. They're both premium. I'm only supporting one V premium deck wall. That's probably what I'll do too. I'll probably run Gabrielle and nothing else. Probably. Yeah, so we got a low shield. We don't have an imaginary gift. That makes sense because we're using it as a trigger rather than an actual Vanguard. In return for having lower shield values than the regular heal triggers, they have unique abilities. Cool. When it's put on the guard circle, if you have not ridden a grade 3 or greater this fight, perform one of the following. Choose one of your Vanguards, it gets 10,000. Choose one of your opponent's units, it gets -2 crit. Wow, that's a spicy meatball. I'll be honest, I'm going into this semi-blind. I do need to thank Roxas and Malice for doing a lot of research for me, but man, seeing the -2 crit is hilarious. Jesus Christ. Jesus, the grade 3 heal self-pings permanently, so busted in premium. Only play MLB. Yeah, MLB is a good one because that's the pre-constructed one. So yeah, that's definitely a good one to get. Only play Eradicators in V Premium and Premium you pass Stride and OTK. Yeah, basically. Most damage a night. to not allow you to use your skill since most counterblast 1, so this unit stops that and it's busted because of it. And the -2 crit helps a bit. It's so nutty. Yeah, the -2 crit is crazy. The battle doesn't stop the loop decks. Gotcha. Okay. When placed in the right guard circle from hand, if your damage zone has 0 cards, put the top card of your deck into the damage zone. Interesting. Oh, right, gotcha. So if you need to counterblast, you can get that counterblast. I see how it is. When put on the guard, so how to use it? When put on the guard circle from hand, when the conditions are fulfilled, activate its skill. Choose one effect from the 2 shown below. Your Vanguard gets 10,000, or your opponent gets -2 crit. Got it. So if you choose 10,000, you stop your opponent's consecutive attacks. And if you choose -2 crit, you can avoid the damage even if it's a high-powered attack. Gotcha. So it stops it even if they get a crit trigger. Just PG Gauntlet easy. Plus remember the effects only work on grade 2 or less. Yes, I did notice that. That is correct. Power plus 10,000 lasts till end of turn. Crit -2 lasts till end of battle. That's good because the -2 crit until end of turn might have been pretty busted. Because of course there are a lot of cards that rely around like restanding and that kind of thing. So, when called to the rare guard circle from hand, activate its skill. If your damage zone has 0 cards, put the top card of your deck into the damage zone. The effect puts the card directly into the damage zone. Damage check does not occur and trigger effects cannot be used. You get a counterblast even if you did not take any damage. Yes, so that is the point of that. I'm glad I was smart enough to see that. Good. Put the top card of your deck into the damage zone, activate its effect when it's called from hand. Cool. If I call a Heal Guardian and use the skill, Vanguard gets 10,000 till end of turn. How much will the total increase be? Combining the skill of the Vanguard gets 10,000 till the end of turn with the Heal Guardian's 15,000 shield, the total increase will be 25,000. Wow, that's a pretty big number for so early on in the game. If I call 2 Heal Guardians to the Guardian circle at the same time, will I be able to perform the skill twice? Yes, you can. That's good. That stacks. That's very good. That is very interesting. I don't know why you'd need to stack 2, especially like early on in the game or whatever, but good to know anyway. If the attacking unit's crit is 0 but has power more than the unit being attacked, is it considered a hit? It's considered a hit, but no damage is received. So if you have an ability that says when this attack hits, it still goes through. Gotcha. And then when my Vanguard attacks with 1 crit, my opponent calls a Heal Guardian, reduces it by 2. After that, 2 critical triggers appear during the drive check. And all of it is dealt to the Vanguard. How many crits will that become? It would become 1. I see. Got it. Basic maths. I mean, that's the thing. It is basic maths, but with Vanguard fans, you got to explain basic maths to them. When the crit is dealt with a -2 skill, it will be in the state of -1 critical. After that, trigger effects of the 2 critical triggers, the total critical will become 1. Gotcha. And then when my Vanguard is grade 2 and I have a Heal Guardian in my hand, will I be able to G-Assist? No. G-Assist only triggers when your Vanguard is not grade 3 or greater. If opponent is grade 2 and you're grade 3. Right, I see. Yeah, if your Vanguard is not grade 3 or greater and you do not have any units with grades 1 grade above your Vanguard in hand, can I discard from my hand as cost for calling a G Guardian? Yes, you may. You can discard it from your hand as per normal skill. Choose a heal trigger from your hand and discard it. Gotcha. That makes sense. So yeah, that was that stuff. I think that's pretty cool. I think it's a good way of like giving you options early on in the game. I like that a lot. Again though, it's the kind of thing I'd have to like play test and see how it actually works in person. But like, it definitely seems really interesting. It seems like a step in the right direction. I like it a lot. So let's see. If opponent's on grade 2 and you're on grade 3, using GP, you can strive from the face down G zone and gain a bunch of attacks. I think I was able to do like 5 to 6 attacks on my first grade 3 turn. Fun. Anyway, Lyrical Monasterio. That's kind of like the biggest piece of news, I feel like. Or at least for me anyway. Anyway, yes. I'm surprised to be saying that the Lyrical Monasterio stuff was like the most exciting. That feels weird. It feels wrong. I definitely think, and I mentioned this last live stream, the cool thing about the Lyrical Monasterio stuff is Not necessarily no more mermaids, but it doesn't revolve around mermaids because I don't really care about mermaids. Fan service and nation gross. Yeah, kinda. I mean, I don't think it's as bad as it was. Cause I definitely like I don't really care for the mermaids. But the idol stuff I don't hate as much. No. Fight, 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 fight. Yeah, no, I actually think this is a really good step in the right direction. I like this stuff a lot more. It's grown on me a lot more. And I know a lot of that is to do with the angel, and we'll get to the angel in a sec. But I actually think these card reveals are really cool. Can't believe there's a card that sounds like your name. Huh? I guess I'll have to look at that in a sec. But yes, so collect different illustrations of the Grave-Free Ride line for this rarity. So Lyrical Secret Rare, which is available in Lyrical Melody. Furthermore, the illustrations are of the concert outfit versions. So these are alternate artwork versions. I see. So the Ride Line's theme is singing songs and triggers various kinds of skills. It's a lot more versatile now. It's not just that's exactly it. I found the mermaids very boring and repetitive. After one set, it's like, all right, I get it, they're mermaids. And then everything after the first set of Bermuda stuff was just more of the first set of Bermuda stuff, at least to me anyway. I'm not exactly an expert when it comes to Bermuda, but all of that stuff felt very samey. Even like the new ride lines and stuff they get in later sets, all and the new archetypes and stuff, all just felt the same to me, which I'm sure that's a valid complaint to basically every clan. I feel like you probably could argue that with every clan, but to me, Bermuda felt like it like kind of hurt from that more than any other, and I think a lot of that was just due to the fact that I didn't really care for the aesthetic in the first place. I think this is a step in the right direction to adding a bit more variety, and it looks like it's adding variety in terms of playstyle too, which I really like. So this says the theme is singing songs and triggering various different kinds of skills. Now, I'm assuming you're thinking what I'm thinking. This sounds a lot like the Bang Dream deck, or various Bang Dream decks, where basically you were like trying to get all of the members of the idol group onto your rare guard circles and then play an order card that represented a song. And if you were able to set that up correctly, you would basically win. It seems like that's similar to what this card here is doing with the whole singing songs in like a different color font. It seems like the song in question will probably be an order card, and to activate the order card, you'll probably need a specific like concert setup, quote unquote. And that looks very interesting. Design-wise, yeah, the playstyle is like a slight variation. I think Lupina can call entire boards with RNG bounces, units, and guidance effects from that. Cool. So let's see. We've got Prismagica Realista. This Ride Lines theme is battling with two kinds of precious stone cards. Precious stone cards are probably also order cards, I'm assuming. I don't know. I can't think of what else in precious stone would be. Maybe it's similar to the set orders from Brantgate, where you had like two set orders and you'd like stack one on top of the other. Maybe it's like that. I don't know. The artwork looks nice though. I do think the concert like artwork, like the lyrical secret rare, whatever it's called, the art for those look really nice actually. Like I like them a lot more than the normal ones, which I guess is the point. It sounds like you can coordinate these when it happens and they change costume effects. Yeah, seems like it. And then this one here definitely seems to kind of confirm a lot of my suspicions, Clarissa, because it says the Ride Lines theme is battling by gathering 5 friends together. So this is the one that makes it sound like you need to have a very specific board state. So you need to have the like other 5 members of the idol group all in specific rare guard circles, and by doing that you can kind of set off combos and stuff that will either let you restand or just gain stupid numbers or maybe gain an extra crit, that kind of thing. That sounds like it's kind of fun, you know. That definitely seems like an interesting one. And then we've got Felty Rosa. This Ride Lines theme is attacking with your summoned fellow ghosts, so that's going to be tokens. Seems like the ghosts are probably going to be tokens, and well, we all know how tokens work, right? So definitely seems interesting. It basically seems like people who want to run Orfist but don't like the aesthetic of Orfist, so we're going for Felty Rosa instead. We'll have to see how different it is. It's probably not going to have the set orders. At least this specific one isn't going to have the set orders the Orphis has. Sounds like a magical idol nation. I mean, it basically is. Like, the lore described it as an idol school, basically. So, yikes, sounds hard seeing how every deck has some sort of removal. That's a good point, actually, right? For the Clarissa one, where you need to have a specific board, like, combination set up, it feels like you could ruin that pretty easily just by sending one of those cards to your prison. That's a very good point, actually. Or even just using, like, Verena's skill to retire it, or that kind of thing. And there's the card I want you to see. Oh, don't worry, I've seen it. So, Celestial. You know what? You're right. That does kind of sound like Asterisk. A little bit. I don't think it's intentional. I don't think I'm big enough yet for Bushiroad to officially acknowledge me, but that would be funny. This Ride Lines theme is abilities that change depending on the grade of the cards in the bind zone. This is interesting, because it's not a doctor. See, that's the thing, with Angel Feather, the angels and the doctors, and because they're doctors, that's why they mess around with the damage zone. But this one isn't a doctor, and so it messes around with the bind zone instead. And you know what? That sounds really cool. I told myself when overdress was released that I wasn't going to play Lyrical Monasterio. Like, when overdress was announced, I was like, I'm never going to care about Lyrical Monasterio. I'm never going to care about them. I don't care what they do with them. I'm not building them. And then they had to put together a really, really interesting angel deck. God damn it. Because the idea of an Angel Feather style deck that binds cards instead of using the damage zone sounds sick. I really like that idea. It's Gear Chronicle Angel Idols, yeah, basically. And this one has the best artwork yet too. Maybe that's me being biased, of course, because it's the Angel thing, but I really like how it looks. Do I like it as much as the Angel Doctors? Not quite as much, but I still think it looks really, really nice. Yeah, no, I really like it a lot. I really want it. The temptation is strong on this side of the road. Yep. Now, from what I've heard, these, and it might be confirmed in a later image or whatever, but you can basically get in play it. I might. The thing is, I worry is that the singles for this set is probably going to be pretty expensive, right? Like, people who buy into this set are probably going to be people who really want to play these cards, right? So I'd probably have to get, like, this set's equivalent of, like, a nation split beforehand. I want more information before I make my opinion on these decks. That's fair. Usually I would wait to see more information, but the Angel aesthetic and the idea of binding cards is just too appealing to me. I'm already really attracted to this specific ride line. And by the way, that's the really interesting thing, by the way, is these are all different ride lines. We mentioned this last time, but they're getting so many goddamn cards. Now, I'm assuming they're getting so many because they're probably getting like one of these sets per year, so this is going to be an entire year's worth of support for them. So that's probably the reason they're getting so many, but Jesus Christ, seeing this many ride lines is crazy to me. When you saw that Aichi versus Chrono fights, who did you think was going to win? Aichi. Pretty definitively. I don't think they'd let their big, like, mascot character lose in a fight that important. It would have been cool to let Chrono win, but honestly, I still think Aichi probably deserved to win because he's had more experience and that kind of thing. That's how I felt about Eugene. But yeah, no, I really like this deck. I wonder how they're gonna handle that. I guess I'd have to ask like 50 cards or someone. How would they handle splits? Because these are all the same nation. So if you were to get a nation split, you'd basically just be ordering the entire set, right? So I wonder if there's going to be any retailers or anything, or someone like 50 Cards, who does a nation split type system, but with the ride lines instead of the actual nation. That would be interesting. If that's available, and I'm sure someone will offer it, right? If that's available, that'll definitely push me even further towards this deck. In that regard, I wonder how they're going to do triggers and vanillas. I guess since they're commons, it doesn't matter, right? You're just going to have plenty of them anyway. Makes me more excited to dream which nation I should go. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm very interested in this deck. I'm very interested. I hope it ends up being good. Because that's the thing, it looks fun to play, but we have absolutely no clue like how good these decks are going to be meta-wise, and for all we know, this could be the weakest one. not that that's ever really deterred me before. In fact, I am kind of considering buying a playset of Eugene just because he's currently so cheap. Just because why not? You know, like it wouldn't be that expensive to build that deck. But we'll see how it goes, of course. But like, yeah, so it's never really deterred me necessarily how like bad a deck is. I usually do care a bit more about how fun it is, but it would be nice. And again, it would once again push me further towards this deck if it did end up doing pretty good in terms of the meta and everything. That would be really nice. But yeah, no, I really like this. I really like this stuff. It's weird how many angels we've already seen in overdress. Because one of my big worries early on was I was like, oh, they're probably gonna shaft the angels. Like having the nation thing will give them an excuse to shaft the lesser popular clans like angels and that kind of thing. But angels have been getting so much different support in kinds of like different in kinds of like different ways, like unexpected ways, you know. Stop BSing, we know the wife is going to be top, of course. I don't know, Bermuda review is pretty good. They were pretty good. Like, they were pretty broken for a while, actually. We just know. Oh, God. That's the thing I worry about. Because this is, like, the waifu set, quote-unquote, that's the thing I worry about, is these are probably going to be pretty valuable. I'm hoping it's only the actual mermaids that end up being, like, stupidly expensive. Because if it's the mermaids, because the mermaids are the SPs, and if it's the mermaids that end up being like crazy expensive and everything else is fairly affordable, I'm okay with that because I don't want the mermaids anyway. So that works fine for me. Which was a really clever idea from them because by doing that, it means that people who don't really care about the mermaid thing are still going to have a reason to play these cards because they'll just play the cheaper version of the deck. But then also, people who do like the mermaids are gonna wail, quote, like pardon the pun, the people who do like the mermaids are gonna wail on the set anyway, so it's a win-win for everyone basically. It's a really clever move. Great, I'll draw you in an angel like armor. Huh. So yes, LSP pack. So yes, this is like the clan pack type thing. Obviously, clans aren't really a thing, but that's the closest thing it is to. My views either the worst or the best, no in between. Yeah, pretty much. I can agree with that. So LSP mainly consists of the 6 main units from the Lyrical Trial deck in concert outfits and the overtrigger. Furthermore, all 7 come together as a set. The right line's theme is returning rare guys to their hand and calling them again. So yeah, here we go. This is basically them being like, don't worry, Bermuda fans. This is still Bermuda. You still have the mermaid aesthetic and you still have the bouncing mechanic. So if all you want is just the Bermuda deck, then here you go. It still exists. So it's nice to know that exists. That's definitely reassuring for the people who are interested in that. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of the angel armor. Yeah, no, and yeah, very interesting. Here we got some more card reveals. We're probably gonna speed through these pretty quickly. But we did indeed get some card reveals. So we got some support for Orfist. So we got Auto Rearguard Circle Grade 1. When this unit boosts a Shadow Army token, you may have this unit get 15,000 till the end of turn. If you do, at the end of the battle, retire all of your Rearguards in the same column as unit, draw a card. Might want to check up your audio. Ah, no. This always happens. Where's Speed Robo to give him the salvation he needs? I do wonder what Speed Robo thinks of that, but I don't really think Speed Robo's all too interested in overdress in general, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if this card's all that great, honestly. I mean, the power's nice, but the retire isn't great. Valkyrie deck in kind of Sanctuary. Yeah, that'd be cool. Hey, it's Simple here character. Least favorite clans in Vanguard. My least favorite? I mean, it probably was Bermuda, honestly. I don't particularly care for Mega Colony all that much, actually. I just don't really dig the insects all that much. I don't know. Always doing a little bad, but it bugs out a while. Yeah, I've had a lot of problems with that. Before the next stream, I'll look into it some more and see if I can do something about it, but testing out streams and stuff is annoying. Yeah. Well, we'll see. But yeah, least favorite clans of Vanguard. I've got a couple here and there, but like nothing too interesting, honestly. It's not necessarily clans I hate, but just ones I don't particularly care about playing personally, more so than anything else. Bruh. thing of retiring a token which is not even used in your hand. Well, yeah, I know, but surely you want to keep the token though, right? They're expendable. I mean, maybe. I mean, that's the thing. I haven't really playtested Orphis, so who knows? I might be wrong. You mean Hibiki during Dawn Gungia? I don't even know. Kana Draco Alvaderd. Since you used the counter charge one to put soul card in Orphis, you're not even losing much by G. Alright, okay, that definitely sounds a lot better then. During your turn, if your ward is Dark Knight, it gets 2,000. If it's Abyssal Dark Knight, it gets 5,000. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked, retire a Shadowrunning token, choose one of your opponent's rare guards, and retire it. Now that's good. Getting the retire for your opponent is really, really good. And 5,000 power is pretty good too. So that's a good card. You have a grade 2 as literally a token as well. Right, yeah, okay, makes sense. And then we got some Violence Brew stuff. So Diabolos Madonna Mabel. Who remembers Blaster Joker? I do. When this unit boosts a Vanguard, if you're in Final Rush, Counterblast 1, choose one of your Vanguards to get triple drive. Okay, that's really good. It's stupid free, right? That's really good. Yeah, that's just really good. I don't even have anything else to say about that. A third drive check's great. Like, for one counterblast, that's really good. Sorry, Defender of our voice. Oh, feel free to be. If I'm saying something wrong, feel free to correct me. I've never been someone who's like claimed to know absolutely everything. So if you definitely have something to say, feel free to say it. You know. But yeah, no, third drive check. That's really good. For a grade 1 too. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's really good. That's really good. Of course, you do have to be in Final Rush, but it's a Bruce deck, so you kind of have to be in Final Rush to do basically anything. But other than that, like, damn. And then Leonard. If you're in Final Rush, this gets 5,000. And when this unit would attack, it battles all of the opponent's units in a column. Ooh. When his unit attack hits, Soul Charge 1. And if your Vanguard is Bruce, choose it to one card from your soul and call it. Oh, I see what they did. This one's a Spike Brother. Now, of course, it goes without saying, Bruce is obviously very clearly being inspired by Spike Brothers, but this one is just straight up a Spike Brother unit because of the calling from the soul immediately after your attack. I like that. Well, you're willing to give up for it. The risk stuff is enough to even push it to counter IMO. However, there's a few problems with it, being the biggest issue is space. Yeah, the space is a problem. I don't know what I'd cut, but I love the in set 2. The set procs twice. Yeah. Man, that's really I like that one a lot. That might be one of my favorite cards from Bruce so far. I really like that. And also just seeing, like, reading out the, like, after you attack Soul Charge 1 and then call a card out from your soul to an open Vanguard circle, that legitimately, like, actually gave me nostalgia. Like, seeing, like, Dragonic Overlord and everything, that doesn't actually give me nostalgia, because whatever, who cares, right? Like, I see Dragonic Overlord all the time. But seeing a Bruce card actually play like a Spike Brother, that gave me like the smallest twang of like actual legitimate nostalgia. That was great. I really like this card. Ooh boy. Calling for Soul's Pale Moon. It is, but calling after your attack is Spike Brothers. That's what it is. I really loved that about Spike Brothers, was attacking and then calling and then attacking again. And the fact that you can do that with this automatically makes this one of my favorite cards from the deck. That's great. I'm really looking forward to picking that one up. That's a really good one. Big fan of that card. Oh yeah, we talked, I don't know, we basically, I guess I wanted to touch on this, because basically Vision, I'm sure you've heard of them, they run tournaments and stuff for Vanguard, online and everything, and basically the big news is that they're moving away from cardfight area and towards remote fights. And I basically wanted to chime in on this very quickly and basically mention that I understand people are complaining that it means a higher barrier for entry if you want to enter a tournament, because you have to actually physically own the cards and have a setup to be able to record remote fights and that kind of thing. But I will say this is a great move in the long term, because first of all, bushiroad are going to acknowledge them. Bushiroad were never going to acknowledge area. Obviously, they know area exists, but they're never going to actually like promote an event that uses area. So with this, bushiroad might actually, promote the events and stuff, and maybe even officially sponsor them. So that's really cool. But also, I just think remote fights are more fun to watch than area. Again, I don't hate area. I think it does what it does pretty well, and it's really good for like a fan-made thing. But I think in terms of taking like tournaments legitimately seriously and stuff, I think remote fights are a better option. And again, I do feel bad for the people who are like, oh, that means it's more difficult for me to enter because I have to actually have the physical deck. And that's kind of a shame, but I also think it's kind of a given, like pretty much every other card game runs on that logic too, where like you actually have to, own cards in some way, shape, or form, whether that be pulling them digitally or having physical cards. So I don't think it's that big a deal. And plus, if you're serious about tournaments anyway, you're probably going to want to, invest money into it and get the proper cards and stuff anyway. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. Hello, Angel Idol. Yep, I'm a big fan of that card a lot. I really like that one. But yeah, I just think the remote fights are more fun to watch personally. Obviously, nothing beats like, again, two people in there in person. It'll be smaller scale card area tournaments, but for big scale. Yeah, exactly. I think small scale, like, local style stuff, stuff that tries to simulate the feel of locals, I think card fight area is fine for. And card fight area is best for playtesting. Like, that's the real thing. Card fight area is best and should be used for playtesting. I feel like when taking it actually seriously, you should probably think about graduating from card fight area. It's really good to playtest with, but for like actual serious tournaments and stuff, remote fighting is the way to go. And again, nothing beats like in-person tournaments, but obviously having to be there in person kind of defeats the point of an online tournament. So remote fight is definitely the best place to go for there. So I think it's a pretty good compromise. I don't mind it. I saw some people getting worried about it and stuff, but I'm like, I don't mind it. I think it's a sensible decision. And then we got revival selection. So this is our new like English only set with reprints and stuff. So we've got all 24 clans, including Token Rambu and Etranger. Really? That's funny. Various popular units and stand trigger units from each clan will return to allow new players to experience ease into the premium format. Maybe we'll get Bruce Bastian stuff till I get Gears Gold Ride Lines, but unsure. I mean, you should definitely at least pick up the vanillas you need. So like any staple cards and stuff that you think will be good in Gears and Gold, you should pick up anyway, because there's a lot of cards both in the start decks and in set 1 that are like so generic that they'd be good in pretty much any deck in that nation. So you should definitely look into picking those up anyway. For example, I think that Painkiller Angel is going to be a card that only gets better as time progresses. And I think every nation has cards like that. Excluding, let's see, also many cards existing players in the premium format would like to get their hands on. Each pack is a clan pack. 7 cards from each pack in this booster we put into the same pack, and each pack becomes a clan pack. Featuring 6 cards that haven't been released in the English version. Hey, finally! Good. That's great. So that As of Flames, Draconic Overlord, the Turnabout. Really? We're finally getting the Turnabout? Jesus Christ. I feel like I've been hearing about the Turnabout for fucking ages now. Batentwella, Bearlock, Samurai Spirit, Symbol Monkey. All new reissue cards are included in Triple Rare. Also featuring SP Rarity G Guardians, 1 Guardian from each clan. KK, thanks for the advice. Yeah, definitely look into what cards you think will be like generic enough or vanilla enough that they would work in those future Gear and Gold ride lines anyway. So excluding, not including to... Oh, I misread. Sorry. To be fair, the text is very low quality. Still no Gunburst Linebreaker. You know what? I'm just glad we're getting the turnabout so people can shut up about that. One G Guardian from each clan re-released in the gorgeous SP treatment, including also featuring Xerath dragons and Cray Elementals. One Xerath dragon or Cray Elemental will be packaged in each box as a box topper. Nice. Full card list will be released at a later date. Please keep out and look out for the official website. So yeah, pretty good stuff. Basically reprints that we need. And reprints that we need is the best way of getting people into premium, basically. You know, like, I imagine there's probably a lot of people who think premium's pretty intimidating because you need to look for old cards that have been out of print for years, but there's a good way of getting those cards in your hands. So that's very good. This will definitely be a really good set for getting people into premium for the first time. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how that works out. And yeah, the amount of foils is really good. I love me some foil cards. And then yes, here are some of the reprints and stuff we're getting in Clan Collection. And yeah, no, there's some pretty interesting stuff here. Obviously, some clans faced better than others. I think the Angel Feather ones are pretty good. Roxas and Mouse has definitely been quick to say that the Spike stuff has been pretty underwhelming. But you know, pretty cool stuff here. So I'm just gonna very quickly skim through that so you can all kind of see it. Ready to turn that about exactly. But yeah. Yes, so there's our angel stuff. Pretty good stuff for angels. And then here's some other stuff. we got the cat. That's hilarious to me. We got the cat. We got some musketeers for Neo Nectar. That's pretty good. And then that's it. That's all the images I currently have. Obviously, there's other stuff to talk about, like the Zero, like special decks or whatever they were. Those look interesting. I might talk about those at a later date or whatever. They don't look great. They're not worth paying the 35 for, like, not even close. Do you know how many overdress start decks you can get for that much money? A lot. I'm not going to do the math, but a lot of them. But yeah, no, I don't think it's worth it to buy one, but you get given one for free, so that's nice. I already have the Narcomic stuff reprinted. Well, well, great. I mean, to be fair, I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I guess this is more a set for people who missed out anyway, so it's okay. There's a bunch missing, which is not bogus. Yeah, for sure, definitely. But I'm happy with the stuff we've got, you know, like, I think there's some pretty decent stuff in here. But yeah, that's basically most of the news. I know there's a lot of stuff I'm missing, so if there's anything specific you want me to mention, then I will indeed do so. But I think we're just going to chill around for a few minutes, and then I'll call it a night and get ready. Get working on Buster's art commissions again, and get those done. So yeah, this was pretty nice way of discussing everything. My throat is dying because I'm not drinking enough, so give me a sec. That's a good point too. Everything here is in triple rare foiling. That's the thing I like too, actually. I feel like, whilst there's not that much of a collector's market for Vanguard or anything, most people who collect Vanguard are people who are collecting to play. But I will say I am a lot more likely to buy into a product that has a lot of foils in it because I'm a stupid monkey brain and I love me foiling. And so having those guaranteed foils is very, very nice. So you can kind of like max out your deck, I guess. Then you got the triple R. Drink water. I'm actually drinking tea right now, but oh, I did miss something. Oh, okay. Let me know what it is then. As I stare at my holographic Bruce on my table. Next week is Magnolia. Oh, right. Yes, we are getting more Magnolia and Seraph stuff. I'm very excited to see what we do with that. I know my sister is very excited to see what Magnolia gets. I definitely think Magnolia probably needs some more good stuff. Because Magnolia isn't bad per se, but I think Magnolia could do a lot better. I'm not necessarily sure exactly what I would add. Oh, one more thing. Nice. Let me know what that is then too. But yeah, like, I feel like Magnolia is probably the start deck ride line that needs the most support out of the 5. Monkey Brain from Lyrical Monasterio. Yeah, I know, right? I feel like everyone's Monkey Brain for some kind of aspect of card games, because I love me the Angels and the Doctors and the shiny foiling. The announcement of Guardian heals, people are anticipating a ban list with premium and premium since heal Guardians are very horrible some decks. Right, I did hear TIE Fighter mention that he's expecting a ban list soon, so that does make sense. I'm very interested to see what gets hit there, because that's gonna make or break the format. That's the kind of the thing, is premium is very much dictated by the ban list, so I'm very interested to see what it is they end up banning. And yes, my SPD support. Yeah, no, that's some pretty good stuff. I'm surprised by the amount of news we got, honestly. Like, some weeks are slower than others, and I know that we're gonna have like a lot of news recently because of overdress launching and stuff, but man, we got a lot of really interesting stuff. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else we get in future. I also think it just feels like we're getting a lot because we just finished with like the token Rambo stuff and everything, and I will admit I kind of zone out a little bit when they mention token Rambo. So I think that's also part of the reason why it feels like we've been getting more news recently, because it's just that the news has been more like stuff I might actually run rather than stuff that's just token Rambo. Now back to standing at the window waiting for Vanguard. Yeah, and now for me, finishing my art commission so I can actually get some work done on actually getting some nice videos done for these cards and everything, because I've been playtesting them a lot, and so I should probably actually release a video where I discuss my thoughts on them in depth and everything. Yeah, that's probably going to be where I more or less end it for tonight. I had a lot of fun doing this. I might do more news videos like this in future. Clams I ignore. Yeah, I mostly ignore the clams. I do like the Monster Strike one. Not necessarily the gameplay, I just like the artwork because there's angels in it. And again, for some reason, overdress has just been really angel heavy. Takumi and Dr. O even mentioned they had too much stuff they couldn't figure it out. So, yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. But I guess it makes sense. It is the beginning of the overdress era, so we're gonna naturally have quite a lot of news over the next like month or two, just because we need to fill that era out with lots of decks to play. And that's another thing I really like too, is man, they're really supporting the already existing decks rather than just introducing as many as possible. I love that like the start decks and the first two sets have all been supporting the same decks, which sounds obvious, but I would have expected them to have like either dropped them or like spread the support out more. So I like that they're getting really consistent and fast support. So yeah, that's gonna be where I leave it for now. See yous later. Goodbye, Cray Knight Julian, Blitz06, Rock Smash, you've been a massive help. Thank you very much as usual. Remember, for every statement, there's always an asterisk, and I will see yous later with more videos. See ya.